Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide, and in today's video we are revisiting the Remarkable platform as a whole because it has recently received an update 3.20, as you can see here, and it's been released on Remarkable 1, 2 and Paper Pro devices. Today I was thinking that it would be a nice kind of change to revisit Remarkable 2 and check the update on this little old guy. Alright, so this is gonna be short and sweet because there's not really a lot to cover directly on the tablet, but it is still an important and a meaningful update for the platform overall. It introduces improved responsiveness, so your paper tablet user interface now responds faster to touch. In addition, this update includes general performance improvements, and generally speaking, that is actually quite correct, and it is not maybe something that you're going to be noticing on a Remarkable 2 simply because of the refresh method, that it's a little bit slower. But overall, what I've also noticed is that the precision and, as they say, the responsiveness to touch is a lot better because there's a lot less missed touches and missed input signals. The big one here is Send to Slack, where you now have the option to integrate the work that you do on the Remarkable tablet, be it Remarkable 1, 2 or Paper Pro, and basically send a written document page or a notebook to Slack so it can be then processed and used elsewhere. The way to set this up is like any other integration. You go to my.remarkable.com and you go to integrations and you add a Slack integration. But for that to function, you have to have a paid Slack account. So you have to have either Pro, Business Plus or Enterprise, because the free Slack account does not allow for app integrations to create new canvases in it. However, if you're new to Slack and you open a fresh Slack account or a new work group, then you will have a 31-day free period to test drive the features of a Pro account, and in that situation, this integration will work. Once you've set up your Slack integration, it will appear normally in your my.remarkable.com. However, what you may notice is that if you go to integrations, it's not going to show up here. Don't worry, nothing is wrong. It all works as it should because the way Slack integrates is in the sharing of a notebook or a document. So basically, if we're in a notebook and we go to notebook management here and I go to share options, this is where Send to Slack will appear. In my case, I named it MDG Slack because that's the work group that I'm using to test this functionality, and it works normally. Once you hit that, it will send the current notebook to Slack, and what will then happen as well is that the AI in Slack will analyze the content that has been sent to it, and it will do the OCR recognition or anything else that may need to be done. Now, the very nature of AI is such that it's not a fixed and predetermined type of a result. So what it recognizes and what it actually interprets and what it delivers from a notebook content like this may differ from case to case basis. Now, what I'm actually not really too sure about, and I'm going to ask my contacts at Remarkable because I'm really interested in this, is how far does this integration with Slack extend? Meaning, are you able to, considering that it's actually using AI integration, are you able to write certain commands? What would you like it to do? So for example, create a card, create a task, or something like that. If that's the case, that would be a very interesting thing to do. So I'm just going to run a test here and say, create a new task called my new task. And if I do the share thing, so I'm going to share, send to MDG. Now it's going to go sending with the Slack little icon. And once it's done, it just goes away, and that's pretty much it. So once I'm done filming this, I'm gonna go over to the computer and see what actually happened. But for me, that would be a very nice way to integrate the AI functionality, Slack functionality, and all of that kind of stuff. There we go, sent page. Cool.
I have checked it on the computer. It did not make a task.
We also have Enterprise Ready in beta. For businesses, we're offering device management with SSO, remote wipe, advanced security settings, and more. Also, our data protection practices are on track to achieve ISO certification later this year. Interested? Reach out via businesssolutions@remarkable.com, which is a really welcome thing and a smart thing to add to this platform, because this is one of the major obstacles for businesses and enterprises to adopt a tablet like this, even though a lot of employees and employers do want to use this type of technology and this device in their businesses. But the IT departments, for security reasons and valid reasons, will simply not allow it over an iPad, for example. So this is kind of cool to see that they are moving in that direction, and I think that it solidifies Remarkable as a very serious contender and a serious player as a platform if they manage to kind of stamp this and make a footing into an enterprise and business solutions. They also added German language as a language option for the Remarkable, so you go to settings to change the language of your device. And in other improvements, we have, for a smoother experience, we've adjusted zooming so content now fits to the page width, also when you change screen orientation. Finally, that's nice. Also, we updated the action bar to make managing files more straightforward, fine-tuned the apps, and improved overall performance. So let's check out what's the updated action bar to manage files more straightforward and to see how the orientation thing works. So let's see, how does the snapping work? Well, there we go. So that worked. And if we go here and we set to landscape, there we go, it actually fits to width. And now the major question is, how does the flip page work? Well, it still flips a page and it doesn't really go down the page. So yeah, you still have to use the scrolling on a single page instead of the flip page to actually scroll down and then go to the next page. But all right, so we get the set to portrait and set to landscape normally fitting with, as it should have done from the get-go, but it's a good thing that we have it here now. So is it maybe the long press and that this is the action bar? So now we have export, duplicate, rename, and more. And favorite is under a menu now, and a tag. I don't get it. Why would they move the tag, and why would they move this into another step? Not really a fan of that, because for tagging, that is something that was nice to actually have a tag right there. But okay, so that's a decision that they've went with. And that's it. So those are the features and improvements and new functionalities that we have on a Remarkable platform with the release 3.20.
Well, okay, so that's the update 3.20. I think that it's an actually interesting and potentially a meaningful update, not so much for right now, but meaningful in a way that it's an indication of where Remarkable is kind of steering towards. Almost a year now after the management change that was happened. I think actually that happened last year around September or something like that, but it's around this time. So it's very interesting to see. For me, yeah, Slack is really cool and really nice kind of to see that. But for me, the most important and indicative element here is the Enterprise Ready that's entering beta, because as I already mentioned, if they manage to do that, then Remarkable is going to basically leapfrog all of the other competitors by simply having a chance to become an enterprise and a business place standard for an e-paper device. Right now, no other device is able to actually do that because they do not conform to these security standards. Well, right now that's true, but you had QuirkLogic Paper way back when, and they offered their own whole kind of solution for companies to actually run them on their own servers. So that's something that we've had way back when, and unfortunately, yeah, QuirkLogic went bust since then. And now we have the promise of the enterprise ready. Okay, that's it for me. I hope that you liked the video and that you found it informative and or useful. Please do let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking and what your thoughts are about the the direction where this update 320 is kind of pointing the Remarkable towards. And also, if you've experimented a little bit more with the Remarkable to Slack integration, have you found a way to actually automate some tasks and kind of make it more than simply send a file, OCR it, and then do everything else from Slack? Because I would most definitely be interested to hear about that. I personally am not using Slack. I'm a Trello guy because I love the automations there and that you can program all sorts of things. And you can do sort of kind of similar things, but way more limited in Slack. So maybe that's a Slack limitation and I'm just having my Trello brain trying to fit all of the stuff into Slack. Yeah, do let me know about that as well, because it's been like years and years since I've used Slack and I'm used to Trello, so maybe I'm kind of mixing these two. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!